upside down. But the words I hear, they keep coming through from deep inside of me and you. It's telling us that love is who I am. You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one. Welcome to A Course of Love. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Welcome to A Course of Love. Welcome to A Course of Love. Now let's come together and understand that Christ was born inside of every man. He's waiting for us to choose him as ourselves. When you choose him, you know you choose me too. And everyone becomes a part of you. And then you will know that love is who I am. You and me, we're not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Oh yeah. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Oh, we are one. Welcome to A Course of Love. Just gave you a lot of good neck. I'm Earl Purdy. And thanks for being a part of the Heart Clan. Mighty companions, thank you for coming. We're about to do the Course of Love. This is a class for the heart. This is a gathering for the heart. This is not a gathering for the intellect and analytical mind. I'm telling you right now, this class is about the heart. You and me, we're not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. We've been together from the start. Do you know that? Tell me, can you hear it? Sing it, John Christmas. Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it. Know that we are one. You and I are one. We're gonna love each other up. Let's let the love come through our bodies right now. Let the love come through your body right now. Let the love come through your body right now. I am you. And you are me. And you are me. Mighty companions, welcome to A Course of Love. Welcome to A Course of Love. Welcome to A Course of Love. I'm Earl Purdy, and you have a bunch of mighty companions online with you right now. These are the mighty companions. So I want to encourage you to comment, communicate with each other. I'm going to respond when I can. Like the video and share the video on your timeline. Right where you make comments, right next to it, you can share. Tonight, first of all, I'm going to do a quick shout out because I appreciate those of you who are online with me right now. Sophia, Amanda, Jenny, Chad, Cathy, Tatsy, Sophia, Tracy, Danny, Ann, Joanne, and there's a lot of other people online also. And I want to tell you that the Course of Love is a very deep teaching. Tonight, in this particular Course of Love broadcast, this is going to be a really, really deep section. I know I say that every week, but I really mean it. This one is called Peace. And it discusses a stage that you go through when you are beginning to awaken that's related to the way that you find yourself feeling and how your emotions change and the way that you feel about things, how it changes, and sometimes how they can kind of freak you out. So it's going to be on page 232, chapter 10, in the first treatise, 232, and the section is called Peace. The section is called Peace. I'm going to read the paragraph, and then I'm going to ask the Holy Spirit, Yeshua, to channel through me so that we can get the main meaning that the paragraph is trying to give to us, because I see my role is bringing a course of love to life, to help it become more than words on the page, and so that you can hear it. So Yeshua says, in the Course of Love, says, chapter 10, paragraph 1, page 232. Now let me address the issue of the peace you have been experiencing. So I want to address the issue of the peace that you've been experiencing, but I also want to address the issue of your reaction to the peace that you are experiencing. As you begin to wake up, do you know that you start to experience a peace so foreign to each of you that you can't imagine that it is what you are supposed to be feeling? So you're going to start to feel a peace, but it's a different kind of peace than you've ever experienced before. And you can't imagine that it's what you're supposed to be feeling. What does that mean? It means there is a core of peace at the center of yourself. There's a core of peace at the center of yourself now. You've been doing your work. You've been studying. You've been meditating. You have been applying the principles as best you can. So there's a core of peace at the center of yourself now, which means the issues that you choose to deal with will not affect that core of peace at all. You are tapping into a peace inside of you that no matter what is going on in your life, nothing can affect that peace. Now, realizing that there is a part of you now that just does not allow itself to get affected by whatever is going on the outside. While you may find this almost disturbing, you will not go to extremes to break this peace. There is a peace that you are, and you know who I'm talking to. There's a peace that you are beginning to experience right now that's so different from the way that you've experienced peace in the past that it's almost something foreign to you. And this core of peace that you have discovered in yourself does not allow itself to be affected by any of the things that are going on in your day-to-day life. And you will not go to any extreme to break this peace. My peace, says Yeshua, is yours. You have asked for the peace of God. You've asked for the peace of love, and it's been given to you. Whether you're aware of it or not, you've asked for the love, you've asked for the peace, and it's been given to you. The only way you cannot have it, the only way you cannot have this peace that you've been asking for, that you have received, is that you will have to choose not to have this peace. The only way you cannot have this peace now is that you're choosing not to have this peace now. Also, I wanted to say, if anything happens to the broadcast and we're disconnected for any reason or it freezes, just hold tight. Hold tight. It'll usually automatically reconnect. And if it doesn't, then I'm still going to come back online as soon as I can. Okay. Now, there are going to be occasions that you're going to be tempted to give your peace away. And this is the way it's going to work. This is mind-boggling, so I want you to really hear this. This is really mind-boggling. It says, you will wonder at the lack of extremes in your feelings and will want to bring the extremes of your feelings back. Now, what does that mean? You're going to notice that you don't get really at an extreme level in any direction anymore. That there's kind of like this balance, this level that's more moderate, more balanced, the way that you're feeling, that your feelings and emotions and reactions don't go to the extremes that they used to. And you kind of I call it missing the drama feelings, missing the drama feelings. You'll think that something's missing because maybe you don't feel the levels of extremes in your feelings the way you used to. And you will think that there's something wrong because you're not experiencing the extremes of emotions like you used to. And you will feel this the most when you are around other people who seem to be going through extreme experiences of feelings and emotions. You'll notice you'll be watching your friends and you'll be watching your relatives and you will be watching other people, and they will be going through their dramatic feelings and the extremes of joy and the extremes of pain and the extremes of anger and the extremes of ecstasy. You watch everybody around you going through their dramatic extremes of feeling and emotion, but you will be feeling a strange kind of calm. And you'll wonder if something's wrong with you because you're not really buying into it the way that you used to. For instance, let's say you have a friend and that friend is experiencing their feelings on a very extreme level. And you see how people get excited, whether it's getting, like here in Denver, everybody goes crazy and they get so excited about the Broncos football team, right? And they'll scream to the top of their lungs. And I'll see men express themselves with more excitement than I ever see men express themselves. And right in a bar, in public, they get so excited. And then there's a part of me that, sometimes goes, is something wrong with me? I almost envy them for being able to get that fired up and that excited about anything. Or you watch someone in the depths of despair and they're just really into their pain and their feelings and their suffering, and a part of you might go, boy, I kind of miss being able to feel stuff as extreme, in this extreme way that they seem like they are experiencing it. It says, whether it be joy or sorrow, it will seem real in a way that this peace that I'm having doesn't. It seems like that extreme of excitement and depression that other people are going through, it'll seem like it's more real than the peace that I think I'm experiencing right now. So it will seem so human that a wave of desire to be fully human will wash over you. It will seem like to you it's more human to get caught up in all the different feelings and emotions and the extremes of feelings and emotions. And so while you're getting in touch with your divine nature, you're going to go through those times when you want to get caught up in the human drama all over again so that you can feel totally human. You would think that this human who has caught your attention, this person that has caught your attention because they're feeling so much, you will feel like they are fully engaged, and that they are really experiencing the moment more than you, because you have this strange inner calm. And there'll be a part of you that will go, oh, I want to feel that again. I want to feel those extremes of love and fear and joy and pain and anger. I want to feel all those extremes of emotions again. And Yeshua says again that it will not matter whether it be joy or sorrow, for you are or have been attracted by both for the same reason, which is the reason of wanting to be what? I want to be fully engaged in the human experience. There's a part of me that still wants to be fully engaged in the human drama, the ups, the downs, the passion, the anger, the peace, the ecstasy, the fear, the depression, the excitements at extreme levels, that yearning, that longing, that jealousy, that I just want to feel stuff the way I used to feel it again, because now I'm beginning to experience this strange kind of calmness in me, this center that doesn't go to any kinds of extremes. So we are being told right now that as you begin to get in touch with your divine nature and start to experience the peace of God, which is unlike anything that you've ever experienced before, there will be a part of you that will wonder if something is wrong with you, because you're not getting caught up or feeling the way that you used to feel about everything that's going on around you. And there'll be a part of you that will see other people that seem like they're caught up in all of their feelings and emotions, and you will long to have that feeling once again of being fully human. He said, you will cry and you will laugh for the poignancy of the human experience. This is the known. See, I know how to be jealous. I know how to be insecure. I know how to be happy. I know how to laugh. I know how to get caught up in the values of this world. And there's a part of me that's tempted not to give it up. There's a part of me that's tempted not to give it up. If you can't be moved from your peace by the greatest of these experiences, what experiences? The most profound sorrow, the most all-encompassing joy, then you feel like you're not human. If you don't really feel all the feelings that you used to feel in your body, there's a part of you that will feel like you are not really human. You would think that this cannot be the way you were meant to be. You will wonder what's wrong with you, because you feel so steady. You feel so calm. There's a part of you that's not moved one way or another by everything that seems to be happening in the world. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Now, this is temptation. This is the temptation of the human experience. This is what you continue to choose over the peace of God. Over the peace of God, do you know that you continue to choose to get caught up in the fear and the jealousy and the guilt and the happiness and the lust in the sense of I'm making my happiness dependent on some type of a physical pleasure. He says this is the temptation of the human experience. This is what you continue to choose over the peace of God. This is not a right or wrong choice. Choosing all the old feelings of the human nature, this is not a right or wrong choice, but it's just a choice. It's your free will to continue to make this choice. So what does this mean? Do you know that you used your free will to choose the human experience? You are a human being because you chose to be one. You are a human being because you chose to have the human experience. You are a human being because you chose to have the human experience. Do you know that you chose to have the human experience? Now, are you willing to use your human experience? Are you willing to use your human experience to choose the peace of God? Are you willing to use your personal human experience? Are you willing to use it to now choose the peace of love? Can you finally, with all your heart, every bit of your being, can you choose peace with every part of your being, with every part of your heart? Can you choose peace wholeheartedly? Can you choose peace so much and so long that you become accustomed to having a joy that has no sorrow? Are you willing to keep choosing for peace, choosing for peace, choosing for peace in this situation, choosing for peace in that situation, until it gets to the point that the only thing that you experience is peace with no sorrow, peace without any pain, peace without any fear, peace without any insecurity? Are you willing, Earl? Are you willing, mighty companion, to keep choosing peace to the point that that's all you have is peace, and you never have any sorrow of any kind? If you can't do that, you will continue to create hell, fear, and pain for yourself. Okay, Earl, until you decide to choose for peace over and over and over and over and over again, no matter what seems to be going on in your physical world and in your physical life, then you're going to keep going through hell, which is fear, which is anxiety, which is unhappiness. And if you're in pain, and if you're in sadness, and if you're in unhappiness all the time because you will not choose peace consistently, then you will continue to experience a separation between your divine self and your human self. And the purpose of A Course of Love is to unite your divine self with your human self, your will with your feelings, your thought with your heart, so that you are wholehearted. So, is heaven worth enough for you to give up hell? Is your happiness worth enough to you that you'll give up hell? Are you ready to give up hell? Are you ready to give up hell? Are you ready to give up fear, Earl? Are you ready to give up hell, mighty companion? I'm so grateful to be here with you. I'm so grateful. See, when I do the live broadcast, I can feel you. And you know, what turns me on the most is knowing that I'm not the only one that really wants to think in a new way, in a different way. That I'm not the only one that's beginning to recognize that they are more than their concept, that they are more than their ego. See, I'm realizing I'm more than Earl Purdy. I'm realizing that Earl Purdy actually is just an idea. It's just a concept. There are as many different Earl Purdys as there are people with opinions of him. So Earl Purdy is just an image, and I'm beginning to move to the other side of that image, and some of you out there are doing the exact same thing. Some of you you've gotten to the point that there's just a part of you that you will not let your ego, that you will not let the world affect. Even though your ego is still trying to keep the old day-to-day drama, your false self continues to try to keep the drama going in one form or another. You've discovered a part of yourself that doesn't get caught up in it the way that you used to. But there's another part of yourself that longs for all of those old, intense, dramatic human feelings. So it's time for you to start to continue to choose truth and peace so much that you always are experiencing peace with no sorrow. So these extremes of the human experience, all of the different dramas, all of the different experiences that you've had your whole life, they've just been learning devices. So every experience you've had since you were born, every human extreme that you've gone through since you were born, it has been a learning device. It has been a learning device. So those intense, sometimes painful and trying and challenging human experiences that you've been through in the past, they cracked open your heart. They cracked open your mind to what? To the divine presence within you. The reason, Earl, that you're even studying and listening to this and doing this is because you went through so many experiences of extremes of joy and pain and fear and happiness that it cracked you open and made you aware that there is a divine presence inside of you. Your past experiences have cracked you open and made you aware that there's a divine presence inside of you. And you may not realize it. Let me tell you something, Earl. Let me tell you something, mighty companion, because this is for Earl and it's for you. It's for both of us, okay? You chose every experience that you've ever gone through as a human being. You chose it so that it would open your heart and open your mind. Every painful experience, every challenging experience, every sickness, every joy, every single thing that you've gone through since the day you were born, you chose those experiences to crack your heart open, to crack your mind open, to wake you up from this illusion of lies that you've been taught and told. And it awakens you to the presence of God inside of you. That's why you're even listening to this. It's because you've been cracked open. So do you know that you can now be an observer and look on everybody around you that's still choosing to go through extremes of challenges, of feelings and emotions? You can look at them as brothers and sisters that are still learning choice without you choosing to return to learning the same way they are learning. Okay, so what are you supposed to do with all the people around you that are still choosing to suffer, that are still choosing fear, that are still choosing anger, that are still choosing to project on everyone else and see themselves as a victim of everything? You look at them as an observer. They are learning choice. They are going through all of that so that one day they will learn that they can make a new choice. But they're giving themselves experiences of pain and joy, just like you gave yourself experiences of pain and joy before you finally got sincere about waking up to who you really are and having your heart and mind cracked wide open so that you could become aware of the presence of God inside of you. So when we look at the news and we look at our friends and relatives and everybody around us, we are supposed to observe them and remember that divorce that they're going through, that divorce is a situation that's going to teach them that they have a choice. That lack or that pain that person is going through is an experience that's going to finally teach them that they can make a choice, a new choice for love, a new choice for peace. But that doesn't mean you have to still keep going through the same things that they are going through, that you used to go through, in order for you to learn your lessons. You do not need to learn through pain anymore. You don't have to learn through drama and pain anymore. It's not necessary for you to learn through pain and lack and sorrow and anger and upset and sickness. Those things were all part of your learning experience to teach you that you have the power of choice, to get to the point that it opened your mind and opened your heart to the presence of God inside of you. And when you are around other people, you are supposed to be seeing them as giving themselves the same kind of experiences that you used to give yourself, so that they can eventually crack their hearts open and crack their minds open to the divine presence inside of themselves. But you don't have to go through that anymore. You don't have to go through the things that they are going through anymore. You don't have to learn that way, through pain and suffering. You don't need those kind of experiences to alert you to the presence of God. You are voluntarily alerting yourself to the presence of God. Nobody has to force me to do this material. Nobody has to force me to meditate. Nobody has to force me to pray. Nobody has to force me to read and study the course of love. Why? Because the divine, I have already been alerted to the divine presence within myself. So I don't need painful experiences to get me to surrender and turn to God the way that I used to. I'm voluntarily turning to God. I'm voluntarily turning to the spiritual truth. And so you no longer have to suffer anymore. But when you're around other people that are still giving themselves dramatic learning experiences, then just see them as souls that are learning how to get to the point that they will make a new choice. But in the meantime, you don't have to go through that pain and suffering for you to learn anymore. For instance, the ones you have learned to read, or the ones you have learned to ride a motorcycle, you don't go back to motorcycle school anymore. The ones you learn to read, you don't go to a class on how to read anymore. Even though you might continue to read. So even though we're going to continue to have what appears to be the human experience, we don't need to go through the painful human experiences that people go through before they begin to recognize and wake up to the truth within themselves that you've already awakened to, or you wouldn't even be watching this video and watching this Facebook Live broadcast. Do you know that you can still continue to experience your human life, what looks like your human life, and still stay aware of God's presence inside of you? You can still drive, you can go to the movies, you can go hiking, you can go dancing, you can go listen to music, you can go to college, you can do service. It doesn't matter what you're doing in your human experience. Now you can experience your human experience and still stay aware of God all day long, no matter what you do. If I go to the bank, I'm still thinking I am the holy child of God. When I go to the grocery store, I'm still aware that I'm the one that is a child of God, a divine being, a spiritual being. In other words, no matter what you're doing as a human being, you can still remember you are a divine being, that you are not a victim, that you are an extension of God, that you are an extension of love, that everything around you is you, everything around you is one with you. You can live in peace in the human body in this world, and you can be an example to everybody else how much peace you can feel and express and experience when you learn to devote yourself to your spiritual path and your spiritual awakening. Your function is to be a living example to everyone that there is another way, that there's another way of looking at the world, that there's another way of being, that there's another way of looking, that there's another way of communicating, that there's another way of loving, that there's another way of experiencing relationship. You are here to be a living example that there's another way to do everything other than the ways that people are doing them that's causing them pain. You are here to be a living example of how wonderful and awesome and peaceful a person's life is when they choose for God, choose for truth, learn how to listen to their divine self. Take a breath.
Early in the morning, lying in my bed, thinking about a dream I had. The pictures were fading fast, noticing the music in each scene, and the people
Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to listen? Are you willing? Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to finally? Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to be quiet and listen? Are you ready to listen, Earl? Yes. Are you ready to listen? There's a voice. There's a voice of love to be heard in you.
And it touched us and one by one. And then we began to come of who we were in God, and we began to shine.
It's time to shine.
We watched all the pain go, for now we could see that what really matters
in life or in dreams is the music of love that we hear in each scene. I'm ready to listen. Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to listen? God, I'm ready to listen. I swear, I'm ready to listen, Lord. I'm ready to listen, Lord. I am ready to listen, Lord. I'm ready to listen. Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to just stop listening to your voice inside your head? And are you ready to listen to the voice of the divine presence that's inside of you? And suddenly the voice, I heard the voice of love, and it touched me, and it touched you. Don't you want to watch the pain go? Because now we can see what really matters. Life, what really matters in life or dreams is the music of love that we hear in each scene. I'm ready to listen, are you? I've heard your voice before. You've been calling me. God, I'm willing to be so much more. I'm ready to listen now. Are you ready to listen? Earl, are you ready to listen? Mighty companion, are you ready to listen now? Are you ready to listen? Are you ready? I am ready to listen. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Let you be still and listen to the truth. Yeah, Cathy, I understand. So grateful to be in companionship with the mighty ones. That's right, Sophia. My goal is you, Father. Only you. I love you. I love you and I want to love you. Those are only two feelings and emotions that I have decided that I have. I either have love expressing in me or I have the call for love. And I feel that that's all you have. You're either love or you expressing a call for love. So it says in paragraph 7, in chapter 10, paragraph 7 says, are you being asked to give up extremes? Am I asking you to give up extremes? Yes, it's time for you to give up extremes. You're being asked. Do you know what you are being asked? You're being asked to give up everything that takes your peace away. It's time for you to give up everything that takes your peace away. Anything that takes your peace from you, it's time for you to give it up. There must be nothing in your life that's more important to you than your peace. Anything that's taking your peace away from you, you're being asked to give it up. But when you give up the thing that takes your peace away, do you know that you won't be giving up anything? Whenever you let go of something that doesn't give you peace, you're not giving up anything that has any real value. Because anything that doesn't support your peace doesn't have any value. Anything or anybody that you're not giving yourself peace through, then that thing has no value. So you have to get to the point on the spiritual path that you give up everything that would take peace from you. But you won't be giving up anything that's valuable or anything that's real. Sometimes it's going to look like you being asked to give up things that you really value and that really matters to you and that you think are really important. And you're going to still find yourself attracted to the drama queens and kings. You're going to find yourself sometimes, even though you're trying to be extremely spiritual, extremely awake, and extremely conscious, you're going to still find yourself being attracted to some fools sometimes, or some people that are acting a fool, or people who are full of drama and anger and guilt and fear. You're going to still find yourself attracted to people, parts of yourself that are totally unconscious, but maybe they got a cute butt. So you're going to still find yourself still attracted sometimes to regular human beings with all their drama. There's no reason not to take joy in observing somebody else's happiness. There's no reason not to feel compassion for somebody else's suffering. But you don't need to partake of it yourself. And you can't keep partaking in the drama if you're going to carry the peace of God inside of you. You can't keep taking part in the drama. Now, this is what's been meant by the many references that have been made to God not seeing suffering. This is related to the many references that have been made to God not seeing suffering. Like in a lot of these spiritual books, you will hear the statement, God doesn't see suffering. That's because when you feel true peace, you feel the peace of God. And there is no other kind of peace than the peace of God. There is no other God. So whether you believe it now or not, I'm going to assure you, within the peace of God is all the joy of what you have known as the human experience, but none of the sorrow. When you experience the peace of God, do you know what's going to happen? You're going to have all the joys of the human experience and more, but none of the sorrow, none of the sadness, none of the anger, none of the lack, none of the sickness, none of the sorrow, and none of the guilt. So when you allow yourself to have the peace of God, by allowing your heart and mind to be cracked open through the human experiences that you've had, and you continue to choose for peace over and over again, no matter what happens, and you're in a world that there seems like there are people who are insane with their fear and their hate and their upset, broken into by periods where they go to the movie or something. You're going to be surrounded by all of that. But in your experience, you're going to be having all of the joys and the happiness and the thrills of the human experience, but without any of the downsides, without any of the sorrow, without any of the fear. So Each of you will have an experience to look back on. And experience of profound joy or grief that also became an experience of profound learning. Okay, so he's saying all of you can look back on experiences that you've had that were profoundly joyful or profoundly painful, but that experience did give you a profound learning. You will think that you would not be who you are. There's a part of you that thinks you wouldn't be who you are without all those experiences that you've had in the past that were sometimes painful. You will think that I cannot possibly be asking you to give up these types of experiences, but you have already had the experience of pain. You've already had the experience of insecurity. You've already had the experience of fear. You've already had the experience of lack. You've already had the experience of sickness. You have already experienced all of those human experiences. You've already had them. I ask you not to give them up. I'm not trying to take anything. If you want to keep going through all the ups and downs of the human experience, I am not asking you to give that up. I'm asking you to just become aware that there is another choice that you can make, Earl. There's another choice. I know that you learned a lot through the pains of the human experiences. I know that you learned a lot through the joys of the human experience. I know you've learned a lot through all of the profound extremes that you've gone through since the day you were born. But it's not necessary for you to learn that way anymore because you've already done it. You've already had sickness. You've already had jealousy. You've already had sadness. You've already had fear. You've already had all of those human feelings. So there's another choice. You could have joy with no sorrow. You could have love with no pain. You could have abundance with no lack. It is your memory that holds so much sway over you. It's your memory of all these past experiences that you've gone through that keeps you from choosing the peace of God. Why do you think you don't choose the peace of God, Earl? Why do you think you don't choose the peace of God, my mighty companion? It's because you're just remembering all the things that's happened to you in the past and anticipating all the things that might happen to you in the future. That's what's keeping you from choosing the peace of God right now. So look past what you have remembered. Go past the things that you've been remembering to what was truly there. Because no moment of true learning ever arrived without the peace of God. Do you know that you will never have a moment of true learning without the peace of God? Do you know that without the peace of God, there is no true learning that's possible? Until you experience the peace of love, you never really learn anything for real. You only learn something for real when you're doing it in true love. It's only in true love that you learn anything for real. It's only in true love that you learn. It's not in true fear that you learn. It's not in true anger. It can be a profound learning that you learn through that, but it's not necessary for you to go through that pain anymore in order for you to learn, because now you can learn through the profound experience of true love. Wow. I have to take a moment and just take a breath and let some of this stuff go in. You know what I mean? So let's separate experiences that you might call peak experiences from experiences of extremes. Because you've had periods of extremes. And these periods of extremes were learning devices. That extreme situation that you went through, you know the extreme situation that I'm talking about. Okay, that one. That extreme situation that you went through, that was a learning device. That marriage was a learning device. That job was a learning device. That financial situation was a learning device. That extreme situation, your childhood, was a learning device. So peak experiences often follow occasions of great happiness, and occasions of great trauma are usually followed by some type of a epiphany, a peak experience. But the peak experience, the epiphany, it doesn't happen while you're having the extreme pain or the extreme joy. The true realization comes after those experiences. So peak experiences are what you look forward to. A peak experience is something you are looking forward to. A peak experience is not something that you're looking back on. I know you're looking back and you go, oh, I really had an awesome time 3 years ago. That was the best part of my life. No, that's not a peak experience. A peak experience is an experience of something that you have to look forward to, not something that you're looking back on. So you're going to choose the peace of God. You're going to choose the peace of love. The extremes that we are talking of leaving behind are extremes of reaction. So what is it that I'm leaving behind? I'm leaving behind the extreme reactions that I used to have to everything that was happening to me. Everything that would happen to me, I would just act like it was the end of the world. Oh my God, this is it. This is the big one. This is the one that's going to take me out. Oh no, this is it. This is the one. This is the big one. This is the one. Oh no, over here. Now this is the big one. Look, I know what the other stuff was tough, but this is the experience. This is the big one. In other words, what you want to leave behind is all of this extreme reaction that you're having to things that are happening in your life that are just repetitions of stuff that you've already went through anyway. So the course of love is telling me, if you have learned the curriculum, what further lessons are needed? If I have learned everything that I need to learn through pain, then why are any further lessons through pain needed? Why can't sanity and love and a quiet knowing come to me peacefully? Why would I believe that I can learn from the turmoil of extremes what I can't learn through peace eternal? Why am I telling myself I've got to go through all types of challenges and extremes to learn the lessons that I could learn just having constant eternal peace? Every lesson that you're learning through challenge and pain, you could learn that lesson through just allowing yourself to remove the blocks to you having constant peace. Everything that you're learning in fear, you could be learning in love. Everything that you're learning in pain, you could be learning in joy. This is what you have believed and why you have not chosen yet to accept your inheritance. Why is it that I haven't accepted my inheritance from God of total peace? Because there's still a part of me that thinks I need to learn through suffering and through pain and through upset. So I need to let the memory of the truth return to me now. You need to let the memory of the truth return to you now. And you will see that peace is all you have sought learning to attain. And the only thing you've ever wanted is peace. You've learned every lesson that you've ever learned so that you could eventually have peace. So if you don't pause for a minute and accept the peace that you've earned through all of the things that you've gone through in your past, accept that the peace really is here. You've suffered enough. You don't need those extremes of experience anymore. So pause, because if you don't pause, you won't know the peace of God. That's your own self. Your own self is the peace of God. You are the peace of God. Your real self. I'm not talking about the one that's worried about the bills. I'm not talking about the one that's worried about the children and the house and the clothes and the job. A Course of Love is not talking to that personality, to that character in the play. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking about the you. I'm not talking to the you made up, the one with the social security number. I'm not doing this class for the you and the social security number. That part of you thinks it needs a lot of pain and joy and drama and projection and blame and forgiveness and grievances in order to learn its lessons. Peace, in whatever way you find it, in whatever expression peace takes, no matter what words you use to describe peace, peace is the Creator's answer to you. God's answer to you is always some form of peace. Whenever you're hearing the voice of God, it's always going to give you some form of peace. If you think you have arrived at an answer or a solution to anything, and you are not feeling more peace, then you have not heard God's answer. God's answer is not going to make you more afraid. God's answer is not going to make you feel guilty. God's answer is not going to make you feel ashamed. God's answer is always some kind of peace. And that's right. Pause for peace. I'm watching. Don't think for a second. I'm watching every one of your comments. They are scrolling as I teach. So it's not like you are commenting and I'm not also seeing that comment. And just like Claire says, I am never upset for the reason I think. There is only one problem, and that problem is perception of separation from source. That is exactly right, Claire. That is the only problem, is our sense of separation from source. I could say in here tonight, our sense of separation from peace. Our sense of separation from peace. Now, what is the inheritance that God left you? So what is your inheritance from God? Peace of the body, peace of the mind, and peace of the heart. Do you want miracles in your life? You won't have miracles in your life until you give yourself peace, because peace is total fulfillment. And total fulfillment is the condition of the wholehearted. So when you are wholehearted, when you no longer are in conflict, every thought is about peace, every emotion is about peace, every physical action is about peace, every spiritual desire is about peace, then when you are in that state of being, then you are in the realm of miracles. That's the condition of the wholehearted. That's the prerequisite for the art of right thinking. The description of heaven is total fulfillment. That's the abode of Christ. And what is the Christ? The Christ is your true self. The Christ is the one creation of the one creator. It's called Christ. Peace has come to you, and you have finally come to peace. Now, we're coming down to the wire. What is your final instruction? What is your last instruction? You finally got to your last instruction. What is your last instruction, Earl? Well, it's here. Since you found peace, it's time for you to live in peace. You've been given the peace of the truth. You've been given the peace of God. So go in peace. You can't say you don't know the truth, Earl. You can't say you don't know the truth. You can't say you don't know the truth. The truth is right here. You got the truth right here with you right now in a course of love. So you've been given the peace of God. You've been given the peace of love, mighty companion. So go in peace. Go to the mall in peace. Go to the service station in peace. Go to Trader Joe's in peace. Go in peace. Go to the department store in peace. Keeping a constant awareness of who you are as a divine being. Observing everyone around you, still learning their lessons in the form they need to learn their lessons in, while you are making the choice that you no longer need to go through the extremes of suffering and pain for you to get the exact same lessons that they're getting, which were the exact same lessons that you got before you cracked open and discovered that there must be a better way. You had to have a better way, and then you got in touch with your heart and you got in touch with your mind. So spread that peace throughout the land. Go out in peace. Go out in love. Go out in service to all. In this going out in service and love, you come home and then you bring everybody with you because you brought peace. And so you bring this going out, you come home. For in this going out, you come home and bring with you all the brothers and sisters you have brought to peace. So what are we being told to do? What are you being told to do, Earl? You're being told to go in peace where? Go in peace to love. See, I'm going in peace to joy. I'm going in peace to abundance. I'm sick of going in conflict and fear and upset and projection, trying to go to peace and love. Through being upset about one thing or another, always telling myself every friggin' minute of the day, if this were different, I'd be happy. If they were different, I'd be happy. If they were different, I'd be happy. If they were different, I'd be happy. If this were different, I'd be happy. If this circumstance were different, I'd be happy. That is not the way that I'm going to learn anymore. I'm going to go in peace to love and serve. How? I'm going to serve with all my heart. I try to serve you with all my heart. I don't do it perfectly all the time, but I try to serve you with all my heart. Thus are we one in heart, and so we are one in mind, and so we are one in unity. Thus are we one in a relationship of love. You and I are one in a relationship of peace. Peace that is our eternal home. So I want to welcome home, Earl. Welcome home, mighty companion. Welcome home, my brothers and sisters in Christ. Welcome home, my brothers and sisters in love. Welcome home, my brothers and sisters in truth. So I got a very wonderful, special conclusion of this lesson that I want you to hang around for, to bring our energy in. This was awesome. This was God, I needed to hear this tonight. Thank you for being here. As a full-time teacher, this is my function in the world. This is all I do. And if any of you feel moved by spirit to make a financial expression of appreciation, go to my website, earlpurdy.com. I, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate your supporting this teaching ministry. I'm also available for one-on-one sessions and also mentoring and coaching in this material and helping you with personal issues using this material and my knowledge of spiritual astrology and numerology. Go to my website, earlpurdy.com. It explains all of it, all of the services that I offer, because I'm here to be truly helpful. The music is johnchristmas.com. johnchristmas.com, free download, and also rickybyers.org, O-R-G, rickybyers.org, for her music. And to get more information about A Course of Love, go to acourseoflove.org, A Course of Love, www.courseoflove.org. I'm here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time doing A Course of Love. Tuesdays, I do The Way of Mastery at 7 p.m. Mountain Time and A Course in Miracles at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. I am here to be a vessel and a vehicle for these teachings to come through me, and I am so grateful that you see value in what I do and what comes through me. It thrills my soul, because we were just told that as you begin to experience the peace of God, it's going to be strange to you. You're going to find that you don't get caught up in the drama all around you the way you used to. You're going to discover that there is a peace inside of you that nothing and no one can affect. You're going to long sometimes to go back to those old human drama feelings that you used to go through, all of those different extremes of love and fear and jealousy and ecstasy. But you must not be fooled by that. You don't have to learn through pain and extremes anymore. There's a peace beyond and a joy beyond your understanding that never, ever has any sorrow or pain in it that you can learn through. And that your function is to be an example of what kind of peace a person experiences when they choose for God and choose for truth. Also, look at every painful, challenging, extreme experience that you had in the past. Look at that as the experience that cracked your heart open, that got your mind to open. You said there must be a better way, Earl. You said there's a limit. I've had all I can take. I'm not going to take it anymore. Mighty companion, those past experiences brought you to that point, but you don't have to learn through pain and suffering anymore. You don't have to learn through pain, fears, anger, suffering, and guilt and lack anymore. So you're here to be that example. And I'm so glad you came here tonight on Facebook Live. And so what we want to do right now, I want to ask you to take a breath. Remember it said, are you ready to listen now? And I have, and go to Ricky Byers, R-I-C-K-I-E, Byers, BYARS.org, Ricky Byers. And that's where you can get her music. Okay. And you all are such a blessing. Take a breath and listen. Listen. Are you ready to listen?
I am in the darkness. I am in the light. Oh, see me if you can.
Can you see God in me?
Everywhere I am.
I see God in you.
I am dwelling in the sunshine.
Listen.
Dwelling in the shadows.
I'm dwelling in the sunshine. I'm dwelling in the shadows.
Dwelling in believers.
Dwelling in believers, God says.
And in folks who don't know.
I'm dwelling in folks who don't know. I rest in God. The peace of God is shining in me now. The peace of God is shining in me now.
I am all appearing.
Do you see God in your mighty companions?
I am all invisible.
Do you see the divine in me and you? I am in the highest.
I am in the very low.
You've learned through suffering in the past. Let it go now.
I am all appearing.
You don't have to learn through pain no more.
I am all invisible.
You are totally innocent.
I am in the highest.
You are totally innocent.
I am in the very low.
You are totally innocent. You are innocent. I am innocent. We are innocent. You are innocent. I am innocent. You are innocent. We are innocent. Yes, we are so innocent. So let me be still and listen to the truth. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Let me be still and listen to the truth. The peace of God is shining in me now. The peace of God is shining in us now. The peace of God is shining in you now. The peace of God is shining in you now. The peace of God is shining in you now. The peace of God is shining in us now. The peace of God is shining in us now. The peace of God is shining in us now. The peace of God is shining in us now. The peace of, claim it for yourself. Tell yourself, the peace of God is shining in me now. The peace of God is shining in me now. The peace of God is shining in me now. I love you. future in the hands of God. I place my future. You don't have to learn through suffering anymore. Whatever suffers is not part of me. Whatever suffers is not part of me. I choose the peace of God as what I want. Mighty companions, I love you. Please sign up for my contact list on my website. You are my saviors, and I love you. Until the next time, thank you for sharing with each other. Thank you for loving me. I love you too.